And good afternoon. Welcome to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First. I'm Stanton Salter, along with our odds maker, Keith Fustel. In 1971, the Hall of Fame advertising executive and longtime top owner and breeder down there, Virginia, the late, great Mr. Bill Backer, one of the original madmen up there on Madison Avenue in Manhattan. In 71, he taught the world to sing in perfect harmony with his famous Coca-Cola Hilltop commercial.
Right.
And, well, this has been his vision all along, having a nice partnership between Virginia and Maryland, and that's what we're going to see today. Commonwealth Day, 4 turf stakes on the turf, 4 Virginia bred and Virginia sired horses. We love seeing the Virginia breds coming up here, and they bring a big crowd as well.
That's what we want. We want some new faces, and I like to have them up a couple times a year, and they come in here and it pumps some money into the windows. But yeah, we've got some good competitive races here. These 4 stakes races today. I like a couple little upset shots along the way. Today we've got a muddy main track, and we're going to start that turf course. Is good, Stan.
All right, we'll take a look at those in a second.
Yeah,
a couple nice carryover. Well, there's the turf and the dirt. Okay,
yep.
Turf will start out as good. Main track will be muddy. Let's show the track conditions and weather now. We're off script, but we're just going to go with it here.
Okay.
Let's see what the weather is. And main track is muddy. Turf is good. Carryovers today. Race 1, the Super High 5 is going to be a little over 9,500 in race 1 for the Super High 5. Late pick 5 is going to start race 7. Carry over a little shy of 6,500 there in the late pick 5. All right, let's get right to it here.
Okay.
Race 1 is going to start the Super High 5 here. A low 15% takeout for the rolling Super High 5. That's a nice carryover in the opener, a little over 9,500 in that rolling Super High 5. All right, so keep your eye on that. If they don't hit it in the first race, that'll carry over to the next race with 7 or more, and that won't be the second race. That'll be the third race. So keep your eye on that rolling Super High 5. Also, race 1 kicks off your early pick 5. Both your pick 5s here at Laurel Park. Your best bet with that industry low 12% takeout. You like the early pick 5 today. I like the late pick 5. We have both pick 5s covered today. Let's take a look at Keith's early pick 5, see how he played it.
I'm going to try to play it into a little bit of a late double between races 4 and 5, a single of the 3 and the 6. We'll get you started. I think race 1 is a spread race. We're going to go 2, 7, 8, 9. Your best value out of that race is going to be your 2 Silver Romeo and the 8 Strong. Second race with the 4, 5, and 6. We've got a firster coming in for Michael Stidham. There's David A. Ross stable. There's an old Virginia name. We've seen a ton down at Colonial Downs. He comes in with a live firster, it looks like, by looking at Lucky. I like Carteret for Kelly Rubley in there, the 5-horse. Third race, another spread. 1, 3, 4, 7. Has a Timonium flavor to it, does race number 3. Some awfully short favorites with the 3 and the 7. I think they're a little bit vulnerable. And then we're going to single away in race 4 with the 3-horse Monte Cristo. Could be any kind here for Trombetta and Country Life. And the 5th race, rounded out with the 6 Armoire.
Yeah, Monte Cristo, half-sister to Just Howard, who's the greatest stakes winner on the turf. So, all right, a couple bold singles there for Keith's early pick 5. Let's take a look at race 1. We're going a mile and a 16th on the Dahlia Turf Course. Rail at 52 feet here in the opener. 16,000 starter allowance. Optional claiming 16,000. Everyone 4 is the condition. I love the 7 here. Beltway Bob for trainer Greg Wilson. Forest Boyce rides this 4-year-old son of Baltimore Bob. Well, they just missed at this level. Last out they came. They were 21 lengths out of it early on. They came with a 6-wide rally. Just got beat a neck by Censure. I think the 7 Beltway Bob sitting on a big effort today. He's my top pick here in race 1.
Yeah, last 4 turf races. You couldn't ask for much better. But the only problem with Beltway Bob, he does fall farther back. He got everything he needed last time. The problem was he just ran out of ground. The mile distance, maybe a little bit too short for him. He gets that extra 16th of a mile today. But will they be blazing up front like they were on that June the 8th race? I go inside for a little bit more value. Silver Romeo's run well over this Laurel turf course. 2-back try, good enough for me. Keys up against High Society, who keys up with Beltway Bob out of that last race, June the 8th. He's tactical enough. I think he's going to be forward. He may go out and try to control it, but I think he's a very tough owner just off the pace.
Yeah, and there's not too much speed in this race. Edwin Gonzalez maybe going to try to steal it early here with the 2 Silver Romeo. I like that runner. I use him in my top 4. I have the 3 in my exacta here, Roby's Boy. Roby's Boy at this level I think fits. Beaten favored last out at Pimlico. That was on a good turf course. He's going to get a good turf course once again here today. But he's paired up a couple 68 buyers with his last couple couple turf tries. This will be his second time going long on the turf this year. Taylor Hall rides him well. Taylor Hall with a nice win yesterday on a Major Anthem.
Yes.
He fits Roby's boy well, similar running styles to Major Anthem. They both come with a late rally, so I think the 3 Roby's boy going to be right there in race 1.
Yeah, I was a little shocked to see him that close last time. Those internals were pretty good. He was up much closer than normal. Maybe that first time stretching out, and a little bit new to him. He was a little bit keen. Now he kind of, has got it all together. I think Roby's boy's a little bit better from a little bit further off the pace.
All right, and then we both like the 9 on the outside here. Qualify. Alex Cintron aboard for Lewis Bosley. This horse has the back class, but he's a spotty form recently. But he ran okay last out against open 20,000 claimers, and Catane was a sharp winner that day.
Yeah, and we talked about this horse last time. We liked him. Just came up a little bit short. Now it's third back off of a long layoff. You go back to the Great Meadows race 2 back, his return try. Renown, we talked about him. He's a Grade 3 stakes winner. Made close to 300,000. So dropping into this condition, that helps his chances a lot, and he has good positional speed. I'm not worried about the outside post for the 9 qualify.
All right, so nice turf route here in race 1 to kick off the action. Let's take a look at the second race. A nice maiden special weight to start the early pick 4 for 3-year-olds and upward. We're going 3/4 on the main track here. Scratch to 3, Vickers Chalice. My top pick here, the 6, Smart Step. But we have a stat here on the Kelly Rubley. Ronnie Rubley, she's been heating up recently. Nice win yesterday for Kelly Rubley. She has the 5, Cataract here in race 2.
And that was talk less, smile more in the opener, kind of dictated things. Well, let's talk about Carteret today in race 2, number 5. Kelly Rubley, over the last 5 years, she's 4 for 19 and 14 for 19 in the money with maidens on dirt first after a layoff. You always think Kelly Rubley gunpowder, you think mainly turf, but she's done okay with these dirt runners, especially off of a layoff. This horse hasn't been seen since last July, but I tell you what, comes out of a strong race. Lasting Legacy, the runaway winner, they're strong. Third place finisher Forge came back. He recently won a 2 other than, I believe, at Pimlico over Preakness weekend. Carteret faced the right kind, had a little bit of trouble, was willing. I know he was only beaten, he was beaten 16 lengths, but I watched that race again. He was trying to the wire. Sometimes those races, it invades like a conveyor belt up at Monmouth, and horses just run off. This horse was trying. I think this horse is going to be ready to go off the bench. Some good works leading into this. Both families, both siblings were multiple winners, and one of them was 2 for 3 on an off track. So you got a lot going for you for the 5 Carteret.
I like her. I didn't pick her on top. You have her on top. Pimentel will ride. Certainly an eventful debut effort at Monmouth last July. How about the Mary Epler, Gio Ponte Colton here? Smart Step. Look at the company lines he was keeping last winter here at Laurel Park. Still having fun. Now a Grade 2 winner. Nico Bree and TJ align the numbers. Old Time Revival, Maynooth. I think the 6 Smart Step coming out of some very strong races last winter. Weston Hamilton will ride. This horse been working well at Pimlico for Mary Epler, who just seems to be red hot with these kind of horses coming off the layoff.
She's been on quite a roll the last couple of years. Just deadly consistent. Doesn't matter what surface, what distance, what class. But Smart Step, a little freshening, might have a little bit more speed too, a little more tactical than my top selection. Carteret will be doing the stalking of probably the one. I think Kukulkan will go ahead and send. And the firster, the 4-horse Ali coming in for Stidham and Ross. Yeah, by looking at Lucky, he hits with 15% of his dirt first-time starters, so that's a pretty good number. This is a first foal, but the mare was a 7-time winner sprinting on the dirt.
All right, by looking at Lucky, a Preakness winner, so Stidham with a nice first-time starter in there. Nice maiden special weight there in the second to kick off that early pick 4. Let's take a look at the third race. We're going 6 furlongs again on the main track, claiming 5,000, 3 and up. Haven't won 8 races in 6 months, never won 4 is the condition. Tam Attack, well spotted today for trainer Bobby Leaf Jr. Anthony Quills, 7-pound apprentice, will ride this 4-year-old son of Warfront, so a nice lightweight assignment. 111 here for the 7 Tam Attack, who's going to be your heavy favorite here in race 3. He gets back to the main track today. Leaf claimed this horse in a nickel 3 life race back in March. They tried Starter Allowance Company in A other than turf, and the horse ran okay. But now back to his level, nickel 4 life. Should get a nice trip on the outside today.
Yeah, it comes back to the preferred surface, the right kind of level. But, hey, we talk about it. You reach in and grab off a Claudio off of a jam job. That's a little bit – I'm a little leery of that. But Tam Attack should be able to get a good stalking position in this race, gets in late, and will be able to make a move into the pace. You've got 2 short prices. Jiff Quick to 3 was $1,000,000 to 1 last time. And almost got it done. Looked like a winner in mid-stretch for Charlie DeMario. Big effort. Twisted Earl, the winner of that, came back to run well. So what do? You've got 2 horses outfits, they don't win a ton. They're going to be short prices. I think you're going to use them in your multi-race gimmicks, but I'll look elsewhere. The 4, maybe Arctic Schiller can go ahead and go wire to wire. This horse, when he clears, he gets game. I think he can go ahead and clear this field, catches a wet track, gets Tyus Lipestina in at 109 and with a feather. Just send right to the front. Let's see how far he can go.
Yeah, 109. That's how you do it with a 10-1 shot at this level. You just send, see how far you can go. Artie Schiller Gelding posted a nice 64 buyer with that win at Parks last January. Ty Liapusina, an improving apprentice around here. So I didn't use the 4, but I don't blame you going against the favorite here, looking for a price. We both like the 1 a little bit here. Ice Lake, make the rider Joe Moore Torres on Ice Lake for Ferris Allen. And, yeah, just kind of ran a clunker last out at this level at about 7-2 that day. He's going to need to do better today. Catches a soft group. He should improve the 1 Ice Lake.
Yeah, maybe it was just Pimlico. Maybe he likes Laurel a little bit. I remember the ship over there. I think he can go ahead. He's a horse that's got positional speed to go ahead and make stock. Maybe he can make the first run on Arctic Schiller. I'm going to go 4-1 in here. I know all of Greenmount Station, they were fired up yesterday up there in Hampstead.
For who?
Rooting for Major Anthem and Jackie Savoy. They got it done. And I've been in there. The Bobby Leaf Silks are in there. They're in the Greenmount Station.
Are they?
So, yeah, you're going to have a big rooting section up there. So
my
part of the woods. Yeah,
a little OTB in the afternoon, a little bowling afterwards. All right, nice turf race here in race 4. We're going to kick off the middle pick 4 in race 4, going a mile and a 16th on the all-along turf course. This race for filly mares 3 and up. 4 Maryland-bred, Maryland-sired horses. Other than is the condition of 3 Monte Cristo for trainer Mike Trombetta and Country Life Farm. This filly's by Cape Blanco out of the Alphabet Soup mare, a Reuben Sandwich. She's a half-sister to Just Howard, who's a graded stakes winner going long on the turf, and she's a perfect 2 for 2 on the turf. She's already won her open Other Than, a race that's a lot tougher than this restricted Other Than today. She's eligible. Trust me, Pimentel rides. The 3 Monte Cristo are going to be awfully tough here in race 4.
$30,000 purchase. Looks like a steal last year at the 2-year-old sale. My bloodstock agent buddy, Action Andy, loved this horse at the sale. He, if we could have come up to get $30,000, but the problem was we were $29,000 short to go ahead and purchase Monte Cristo. But I respect his opinion. He was spot on with this horse last year. This filly, though, she won easy last time. I went back and watched that rerun this morning. At any time Gallardo wanted to go, he was patiently sitting behind rivals, tipped out, one under a mild hand ride, if you want to call it. Beats Open Company. That wasn't the strongest Open Other Than.
Right.
But drops in here. The State Bred has a huge advantage. It's proven over the turf course. Comes back a little bit quick, but that horse only had to run the last 1/8 of a mile last time out.
All right, so we both have the 3 on top. The 7's a well-seasoned 6-year-old mare for Lynn Ashby, Shifra Magician. We have a video spotlight to show you from June 9th here at Laurel Park against a tough 7,500 starter allowance field. She was a good 4th this day. Here's the race from June 9th.
Yeah, and you're going to pick her up in the back of the pack. Trying to save ground is Forest Boyce, who gets along well with Shifra Magician. But they went slower up on the front. You look at the internals, 24-48 flat. Then they really picked it up. The problem was when the 2 leaders started sprinting away, she was just caught behind a wall of horses, had nowhere to go, was stymied from about the 3/8 pole to upper stretch. Made a little run from there, a little flattening. You see her there, just have to steady and wait. And the eventual winner had to make a little move in between horses. Followed the winner, but just wasn't quite good enough that day. Desert Folly came in from Tampa and made a strong run. We'll watch her here in 4th. She shifts out and flattens out just a little bit late. She's going to get more speed today. I think you're going to contested paces in store. You've got a horse like Shot Down in Flames with a lot of speed coming off the sprint. That was first blinkers. Ghoul's Night Out likes to be close. Participate can be close, as will the 2 included check. So a little better flow. And I think this horse holds a little value in the underneath parts, and you're exact, the Shifra Magician.
Yeah, she's won 3 times on the turf. She's made over 100,000. Looks like she's rounding back in the top form for trainer Lynn Ashby. So we both like a cold 3-7 exacta there in race 4. The stakes action starts in race 5, the first of 4 stake races today on the turf. It's the Nellie Mae Cox for filly mares 3 and up. We're going a mile on the Dahlia turf course, rail at 52 feet here in the Nellie Mae Cox. And I'm going to go with the 6 Armour. I know Queen Caroline beat Armour twice last year, but I'm going to go with the Delacour Firestone homebred here by Artie Schiller, the 6 Armour. You get Daniel Centeno, and I'm just starting to really fall in love with him on the turf. He's one of our top turf riders around here, Centeno. And Delacour's 26% coming off the layoff. She's been working lights out up there at Fair Hill. I'm going with the 6. So are you. All right.
Yeah, we know there's not a whole lot separating these two. I do think Queen Caroline's going to be a slight favorite over top of her at the windows. But Armoire, the one thing that kind of caught my eye, off the layoff, the plus 180-day layoff, Delacour is 26%. Matt's not quite as good. Okay,
right.
so that's kind of influenced me a little bit. Plus, the only time they ran on a ground that had a little bit of give to it, Arm Wire was clearly better than Queen Caroline that day. Got the better of her. So slight edge in price, I think. Slight edge in value. I think she'll settle about 2-1, 9-5 when it's all said and done. She's the true closer in here.
All right, good to see her run. I was wondering if she was going to run today or scratch, but Matt's going to keep the 4 Queen Caroline in today. She's a 2-time winner on the Laurel grass. Centron will ride. Centron's won on this horse before. He won the Nellie Mae Cox last year on her, so she'll be awfully tough. It's going to be a slugfest between these two. Who else is in the race? Let's how about the 2 Complete Saint for Lilith Boucher. She always shows up in these Virginia bred stakes. 3rd last year behind Queen Caroline and Armour. Forest Boyce will get a nice ground saving trip and tip out and have a clear running lane. Turn her for home probably on the 2 Complete Saint.
Kind of the same MO as last year. Came off of that race at Gray Meadows, a good 3rd. Same thing, a good setup. Ran well last time out in May down there in Virginia. Should set this horse nicely to make a run from the back of the pack. You've got some pace in here with Secret or Not, Zen Betty, and Drop Dead Red. So I think Complete Street wants that. The faster up front, the better her chances are. And I think you got to respect the 5-2 Well Blessed. This horse got real good, and was able to beat a 2 other than type of horse and keep your distance prior to the layoff in September. A good 3rd to lift up, won at Pimlico, and they won a stake at Mama. So Well Blessed keys up with the right kind of horses. The higher price of the Delacours will be perfectly placed before making a move into it.
Yeah, all right. So Delacour going to be awfully tough today in the Nellie Mae Cox. That's the first of 4 stake races today. Let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, today's late pick 5. That starts in race 7. The pick 6 starts in race 6. But the late pick 5 has a nice carryover, a little shy of 6,500. That starts with the M. Tyson Gilpin in race 7. We'll take a look at all that right after this.
Whether you're at home or at the track, have a stake in the race when you bet with ExpressBet. Sign up for an ExpressBet online betting account and receive up to a $500 sign-up bonus.
All right, welcome back. No rain. We're looking forward to a hopeful, beautiful Saturday afternoon of racing here for Commonwealth Day. 4 turf stakes today for the Virginia-bred, Virginia-sired horses. Let's take a look here at race 6. We're going to start the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 here in race 6. No carryover. They keep taking it down. They took it down for $2,500 yesterday.
Got some Sharpies. I was going to ask you, did King take it down the other day when his horse won the nightcap?
Out of juice?
Yeah.
Probably. How about King? He's hot again. He had a nice win yesterday.
Yeah.
He's 2 wins shy of 6,500 now, the King.
Wow.
All right, let's take a look here. Race 6 is going to start the pick 6 today. We're going a mile on the main track, claiming 16,000, 3 and up, 2 life is the condition. I go with the 4, Hyana on top for Kieran McGee. Alex Centron on this Malibu Moon. Gelding Sharp, second last out in the slop at Delaware. Similar level today, off track. The 4 is going to be awfully tough here in race 6.
Yeah, not easy to do to close a ton of ground at Delaware. This horse is making up ground. Leaps and bounds, closed almost 5 lengths the last 1/8 of a mile behind Malibu at Midnight. That was the first time with blinkers. Trying to get this horse a little bit sharper. Came up a purchase from, I guess, Pletcher or whatever. Originally was with Pletcher. This horse can get the distance, like the mile distance for this horse. He needs to be a little bit closer turning for home at this 1-turn mile, I believe, if he's going to get it done over this field. I like the 6, Bust Off. He's got a target with the 1, the Walk. The Walk should be the speed for Kelly Rubley and West Point. Comes off of those 2 sprints. 3rd off of a layoff. I think that angle works well. But Bust Off, I like the 3-back try against Takedown and 3s over deuces. That was a good field. I'm going to toss the last. I think this horse has stalking ability in here. Just toss that last race. I don't know what happened. I thought he'd run a little bit better. Sloppy sealed surface. Gets a little more sheer in the track today, but not quite as bad. Bust Off holds value at 6-1.
I might have given up on him a little bit too soon. His last couple races pretty ugly, and he didn't like that slop last out at Pimlico. He's going to get an off track today, but he's going to get much easier company today.
I believe so.
So I could wake him up here. The 6, Bust Off, I didn't use, but he can absolutely wake up here. The 1, the Walk for Kelly Rubley. Jevion Toledo had a 2-win day yesterday, and this 4-year-old son of Hanson, a decent 4th last out against tougher companies, 25,000 starter allowance. That was in the slop. I'm not crazy about the inside post, but going a mile, it shouldn't matter. The walk should be right there for a hot barn.
Yeah, I think this horse should be okay. It might not necessarily get the lead, but should be forward. A little stat for Kelly Rubley, layoffs off the dirt, routes on the dirt, I should say, third off of a layoff. 2 for 15, but 10 for 15 in the money. Third off of a layoff with the dirt router. So that works well for the walk.
All right, let's turn the page here. Let's get back to stakes action. Race 7 is going to kick off the late pick 5. This is going to be well played today. We have a nice little carryover, a little shy of 6,500 in that late pick 5 carryover. It starts with the M. Tyson Gilpin, race 7. Industry low, 12% takeout. I'm going to play the late pick 5 today. Here's my on-air ticket. I'm going to play a bigger ticket when I actually go to the window and punch my money through. But here's my on-air $48 ticket. I'll go 4 deep here in race 7 with the 2, 4, 7, 8. The 7, my top pick. Northern Eclipse. If McMahon has this mare ready to go off a long layoff, she might be the main speed here in this race. But do what I say. Won this race last year. Sister says, and what the beep, all in good form. So I'll go 2, 4, 7, 8 here in race 7. The Ned Evans here in race 8. Special Envoy is going to be awfully tough, but I'll use the 1 River Deep and also the 7 Stick Stately Do. It's going to be awfully tough shipping down here for Kieran McLaughlin. Open 15,000 claimers going a mile in race 9. I go with the 5 and the 8. The 8, my top pick in there. Gadget Man. Big rider change on the 8 Gadget Man. Now make the rider Daniel Centeno. Daniel Centeno rides the 8 Gadget Man in race 9. That's a huge rider change. That's my top pick in the 9th race. The White Oak Farm here, race 10, 5.5 furlongs. Going to feature the 11-year-old Two Notch Road, looking for his 4th stakes win here at Laurel Park for trainer Glenn Thompson. I like him, but I also like the 4 in there is maybe an upset shot there. Determined Vision. I love the jump starts on the turf. This will be the turf debut for Determined Vision, who has early speed and is going to be going right to the front, I think, for trainer Phil Schoenthal. So I'll go 4-6 in the White Oak Farm. Race 11, that's a maiden 40, mile and a 16th on the Dahlia turf with the rail at 52 feet. Scratched the 9, Killer Kitten. Also scratched the 13, Eagle Caviar. Therefore, the 14, Nikki Day Nephew, draws in off the AE and does run. And the 14 looks awfully tough there in race 11. I just, for affordability's sake, I just kept it to the 6-11 there in race 11. I love the 11 Maynooth in the 6 no fly zone. But the 14, Nikki Day Nephew, who draws in off the AE, race 11, might be awfully tough. You might want to spread a little more deep there in race 11.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look here at the M. Tyson Gilpin to start this late pick 5. 5.5 furlongs on the all-along turf course. My top pick here, I made this filly my best bet of the day. 6-year-old mare by Northern Fleet, the 7 Northern Eclipse. You have her on top as well. What a nice claim for owner Toby Roth and Hugh McMahon. They got her for $16,000 back in November of 2016. They made $146,000 with her last year. A very game 2 other than allowance went on a good turf course last November. She's been rested and freshened since then. Been working well here at Laurel for the comeback. J.D. Acosta will ride. Acosta's won on this mare before. She'll be awfully tough if she's ready to fire a big one.
Yeah, and you've got the one horse to the inside. The other Hugh McMahon horses have been kind of speed crazed on the dirt, but she's never brought that speed to the turf course. So we're going to have to see if that translates. I know the last thing Hugh probably wants is a duel, but I agree with you. I think Northern Eclipse doesn't even necessarily need the lead. I think she can stalk and pounce. Ended the year topping out with a buyer of 82, but has also been proven on a ground that has a little bit of gift to it.
All right, we have a soundbite from trainer Hugh McMahon. We caught up with him Thursday morning here at Laurel Park talking about both his filly mares in race 7, the M. Tyson Gilpin.
I'll be interested to see how she does. She's showing a lot more speed in her races this year, and it's a bit of a conflict though, because the other stablemate, she's got similar running style, but hopefully the jocks can work that out. She's just been a picture of consistency. It's her first race off a layoff, so there's always a question mark with that, if we've got her ready and all that, but everything indicates we have. She's dappled out and shiny, and she's ready to run. I know Northern Eclipse can manage that. She's done well on a softer turf course. She's won a couple of times. It'd be a question mark for Uphill Battle. And if they come off the turf, then Uphill Battle should be in good stead, because that's where she's done most of her competing. I don't know. I just don't want them going head and head on the front end. If one outbreaks the other, I'd like for the jocks to kind of like figure out, okay, I'm where I am. I'll just back off and I'll just make my one run. But yeah, I think Northern Eclipse, she's capable of just sitting off the pace. She's done it before. Uphill Battle, like I say, she's been a bit racy these days. She's been getting out there on the front end. She's in the one hole. I think the way that Fergal would ride, it'd probably ask her to leave there so he can get a decent position. He might find himself on the lead.
All right, so there's trainer Hugh McMahon talking about the one uphill battle in the Severn Northern Eclipse. He mentioned Northern Eclipse handling a turf with a little give in it. Yeah, she won the Camptown on a yielding turf last August. In that video we showed you that two other than when in November it was on a good turf course. So we know she likes a little give in the ground, and I love the outside speed she's going to have here.
Yeah, and you go on the way back. She's won a route of ground as well, and you know, what we've seen of late, he likes putting these mile works in the horse. Did that on June the 9th, a little tightener at a minute and 47 and some change. With Northern Eclipse, Acosta, he's a rider who likes to get his horses into the races early, okay? So he's not going to let this field get away from him whatsoever. I think the 4-horse is the interesting. She's kind of the up-and-comer right now, the new face to this crowd, What the Beep. We have video of her last race, don't we? June the 8th, guys, if we have that.
There we go.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. And you see her second second back off of a layoff, second turf try. She won her turf debut, and here she comes again and runs down a good horse in a great time. It was 3-5. A horse in stakes place, run well for Trombetta, but she shifts out after being between horses and really comes with a determined run with your rider, Centano, your turf rider here, and looks to have even a little bit more left in the tank. So the confidence is high for What the Beep.
Yeah, she's out of that mare, Toccoa. This is Virginia bred day. We remember the old hard-knocking mare, Toccoa, down there, Colonial. She won on the turf, and What the Beep has really loved getting on the turf for trainer Robbie Bales and Eagle Point Farm. So she'll get a nice stalking trip. Let's talk about the filly that won this race last year, the 5-year-old mare, the 8, Do What I Say. She rallied from off the pace at 12-1 last year to win the M. Tyson Gilpin. And she has a race under her belt this year against a tough two other than allowance field. A good rally in second that day. Pimentel will probably get a nice trouble-free trip on the outside. The 8, Do What I Say, trying to defend her title from last year in this race.
Yeah, she'll be able to draft over with the Northern Eclipse just to her inside, along with Virginia Fable horses that won to be close. Pimentel is a great judge of pace. He'll be able to draft in, settle, save ground, maybe move up with some cover, and then tip off of that to make her run. But Do What I Say is proven. She won this race, as you said, last year. She's run against some good horses as well, so she's a major factor. No doubt she's a major player in here.
I'm 4 deep on my late pick 5 ticket here, and I'm going with the 2, 4, 7, 8 here in race 7. I'd love a 10-1 shot here. The 2, Sister Says for Timmy Keefe, rallied at 35-1 last year in this race to finish second. Recently, she rallied again to finish a good second on a good turf course early June here. This will be her second off the layoff. I think Sheldon Russell is going to be coming late here on the 2, Sister Says.
Oh, yeah, my buddy Joe Gass, pretty good handicapper in his own right, came up and took a lot of money out of here yesterday. And he's got his own
man.
Oh, yeah, Joe Gass. So, yeah. But Sister Says comes from way back, and she'll have some flow up in front of her. Has she be able to come back to duplicate that number? She hasn't, but this is second off of a layoff. Maybe that's when she'll make that next step up. Sister Says got a good setup last time. She'll get a decent one today.
All right, we spent a lot of time on that race. A very intriguing M. Tyson Gilpin, first leg of the late pick 5. Let's take a look here. Race 8, the Ned Evans, Edward Evans. We all know him as Ned Evans. 3 and up, mile on the turf. Dahlia Turf Course, rail at 52 feet. We kick off the late pick 4 here in race 8, and this one named after Edward Evans, one of the top, him and Bill Backer, one of the 2 all-time top breeders down there in Virginia. Let's take a look here. We have a video spotlight of the Firestone homebred here. Special Envoy looking for his 4th stakes win in a row here at Laurel Park for trainer Arnaud Delacour. Here's the race from last June when he won this Edward Evans by a nose over the tough Rosebriar, who Rosebriar was favored in this race.
Rosebriar was a heavy favorite in this race, and Centano, a good ride, says, I'm not going to let you get away, and just kind of dogged Rosebriar every step of the way, and a little lunge here in the last 50, 60 yards is going to be good enough, gets a little bob at the wire. That was a gritty performance. Rosebriar, graded stakes winner in his own right. Special Envoy, ended the year with 3 straight wins. A little decline in the numbers, but I think he's back. He's ready for a barn. We know can get him ready off of this lengthy type of layoff. The works look good. Special Envoy. It's an interesting field. Is that there's no real legit closer. The only one that's in there is Mr. Magician, who comes from far back. He's going to be a price. Hasn't run these kind of figures, but Special Envoy I think will be perfectly placed, be able to maybe sit up under cover and make a grinding run to be right there.
So we both use the 3. Second, we go with the Kieran McLaughlin shipper on top here. The 7 Stick Stately Dude, a 5-year-old who's made over $360,000. He's 0 for 2 on the turf. Georgie Vargas Jr. is going to ride today, but he's turned in a couple big efforts on the turf. A good second with an 86 buyer. 2 starts to go against 3 other than Allowance Company at Churchill. That's a tough race. And then a money allowance last out up at Belmont. A good 4th with a 92 buyer. So he's been firing some strong efforts. He'll get a nice forwardly placed trip today with Vargas aboard.
Took a while to get him to the turf course, and he's responded. Yeah, he hasn't won, and it's kind of goofy. I've got this horse lined at 9-5. Maybe I was a little bit too strong. Maybe he'll float up a little bit from that. And, going against a horse like Special Envoy, proven on the turf, and an 8-time winner. But the numbers are there, and those were killer fields he's coming out of. Stan, you look that 2-back race at Churchill. Third place finisher for Dory King came back to run a 93, winning his stakes. Parlor came out of that race to go and just get beat like a length and a quarter in the Grade 2 Wise Dan. Right. These are good horses, and his last race, you can kind of toss it. He just got all discombobulated behind some horses early, steadied, ranked. Jock could never get him settled, fought him the whole way. But today he draws outside. He's just going to stalk, make a pouncing move, and see if he can hold off Special Envoy. All
right, so hopefully a cold 7-3-1. The 1 River Deep could absolutely get back in good form today. Gets back to the turf, stretching out in distance. River Deep by Arch, a perfect 3 for 3 here on the Laurel grass. Sheldon Russell going to try to take advantage of the early speed here of the 1 River Deep.
Yeah, his last race, a little disconcerting. I don't know what happened there. They weren't going that fast. He had dead aim, but Sheldon had him under a drive, leaving at 3/8, and he faded. Eased up late, just kind of protected him in the last 16th of a mile. He gets back to the surface that he loves. 3 for 3 on this Laurel turf course. He was just red hot last winter. So River Deep, I guess we can forgive his last. He's going to be in there a long way.
Well, we had Schoenthal on the radio show a couple nights ago when he was explaining that June 2nd race where the horse got beat 13 3/4 of a length. The horse came up with the thumps that day, which is an electrolyte imbalance, maybe too much Lasix or something, so they're going to cut back the Lasix today and try to make sure his electrolytes are okay.
So that's the Irish war cry thing, right? Isn't that the issue that he had standing?
Thumps,
okay.
Yep. So he has a big excuse from that June 2nd race now,
there
right?
You go.
All right, so River Deep could he's a nice developing 4-year-old. He could pull off the upset here in the race 8 to Edward Evans. Let's take a look here. Race 9 is going to kick off the final pick 3 of the day. We still have one more stake race. That's with the White Oak Farm in race 10. Let's talk about our top picks here in the 9th. Open 15,000 claimer, 3 and up, going a mile on the main track, and a big rider change on the 8 Gadget Man. Not knocking Jacqueline Davis. She's pretty good, but Daniel Centeno is real good around here. And Centeno is going to ride this 7-year-old for Hugh McMahon. The 8 Gadget Man, I think, looks awfully tough here. Nice win 2 starts ago right here at Laurel against Open 11,000 company.
Yeah, he's going to have to kind of revert form back to, late last fall at Parks where he can kind of sit off of a horse and go on with it. He's going to have to make a move and deal with the pace of the 7-0 Captain, my captain. Joan Reynolds put blinkers on any quarter storm, and that related to a much improved speed on the dirt up at Delaware. I think we're going to have a good battle up on the front end here, going to set it up for a closer. I like 10 Hut, Jerry Robb over the last 5 years. Turf to dirt, he's 24% with a positive ROI. 10 Hut, we'll take advantage of the pace, I think, and rally into it. 2 races back on the main track behind Gadget Man. That was an inside speed day, strong speed day. He was up against it when 4 and 5 wide. He rallies into it today. I like the reclaimed 10 Hut.
Yeah, Rob, he's been tough recently, so we like some similar horses there in race 9. Still one more stake race to talk about here on Commonwealth Day. Race 10, the White Oak Farm Stakes for 3-year-olds and upward. 5.5 furlongs on the all-along turf course, and this race is going to feature the 11-year-old, the all-time Virginia fan favorite, the 11-year-old 2-Notch Road for trainer Glenn Thompson. This is going to be my top pick here, 2-Notch Road. Thompson, great press release on our website, laurelpark.com, the story of 2-Notch Road. Thompson bought this horse as a yearling for $2,500. He won some nice races with him early on. Then he was offered $400,000 for this horse as a 3-year-old. Turned it down. The horse bowed, missed 2.5 years, came back, and now he's made over $500,000. He's a multiple stakes winner, a 3-time stakes winner right here at Laurel Park. Alex Cintron fits this horse. He won on this horse last August in the Meadow Stable race. That was on a yielding turf course, so we know Two Notch Road likes a little giving the ground. And Thompson in that press release saying that this horse's best race is third off the layoff, and that's what Two Notch Road gets today, third off the layoff. Well, he doesn't catch the toughest field here. I think he's the class of the race. My top pick here, the 6.
Yeah, that's the same thing as last year's. Third race back, boom. He wins it over a yielding turf course, gets up to win a stake, a Virginia bred stakes over this turf course. Yeah, I'm going to use him in the mix, no doubt about it. I like some strangers in here as well. I probably got this 4-horse Determined Vision a little bit too high at 12-1. We'll see what kind of action he gets out of a Green Dancer mare. But I like the 7, Braxton. We talked about Toccoa. Here we go. Can lightning strike twice for Toccoa. Different stallion, Peak Dancer, but about Livermore, that's okay on the turf. Comes in out of some Charlestown races. A pretty sharp trainer up there. Javier Contreras has done well year after year after year. I think catches a spot. These horses are vulnerable. Not a ton of true speed in this race. I think Braxton is up with them a long, long way in here.
Yeah, I use him in my top 4. He should like the turf today in his turf debut. The 4 Determined Vision. I don't have a rider on that horse yet.
I did not. I did not get it. No.
Pete, you guys hear about a rider on the 4 yet in race 10? It wasn't up when we came up. So Toledo. All right, thank you. All right, so Toledo, one of our top riders, 2-win day yesterday. Jevion Toledo is going to ride the 4 Determined Vision. I'm starting to like the jump starts on the turf a lot. There's some nice jump start runners around here. This will be the turf debut for Determined Vision, who has speed. It was a nice wire-to-wire maiden special weight win at Pimlico. Schoenthal the other day saying that he's going to try to use his horse's early speed, see how far he can go. If he likes the turf, the 4 Determined Vision might be an upset potential here in race 10.
Made an okay move into a quick pace on the dirt, just a mile a little bit too far, as we talked about on the bottom side. Green Dancer, that's an old-time breeding there. When you see that's all turf. This horse has 2 winning turf siblings. Is a fool. This horse is also a fool, a really good sprinter by the name of Just Call Kenny. I probably really whiffed on this line at 12. He'll probably come down off of that, maybe in that 5-6-1 range. I think they're going to bet Two Notch Road and a couple of these other horses, but maybe we can sneak away with a price on Determined Vision, especially unproven on the grass.
All right, we have a video spotlight of the 1 available. Available is here's a race from September of 2016. A good second in the punchline. Let's show you that race. Suzanne Dempsey, she's made $150,000 with this 9-year-old. Here's the race from 2016.
Yeah, we're taking the Wayback Machine here, Stan. I got this into the punchline stakes, but I tell you what, again, we talked about not a lot of speed. When available is right, available can go right to the front, and we've got a send-em rider today, Christian Geraldo. Just gets beat here, gets run down by Moon River. Two Notch Road in this race. There he is, 3rd. So Available has gotten the better of that rival before. Comes out of a strong race last time out that opened 2 other than. So Available will go ahead and be sent in here. I think he's around a long way. Loves to run second. Only 2 for 42 lifetime, but I think he's a user underneath.
All right. Really looking forward to this race. Two Notch Road, one of my favorite horses around, still going strong at the age of 11. All right, race 11. Here we go. Race 11, our final race. Hope you're live and all your will pays going into race 11. A mile and a 16th on the Dahlia Turf Course, rail at 52 feet. Maiden claiming 40,000. 3 and up. There's some nice horses in here. We have some situations going on. Scratch the 9, Killer Kitten, and the 13, Eagle Caviar are out. Therefore, the 14, Nicky Day Nephew, who looks awfully tough coming down from Monmouth. The 14 does run. You like the horse as well, but I go with the 11, Maynooth on top. J.D. Acosta gets aboard for the first time today for trainer Cal Lynch. Maynooth likes the turf, a good 3rd last out at this level. This will be the 3rd race back in this current cycle for the 11, Maynooth, my top pick here in race 11.
Yeah, Maynooth, 2nd time gelding, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and a nice effort last time against Daddy's Covey. Daddy's Cozy. I would have liked to see Nuno Dancer come back and run a little bit better out of that race, I think, as a user. I think it's one of these 4, 14, 11, and 6. 14, I think, is the pace, and really kind of gritted it out up there. Good game efforts up at Monmouth when transitioned to the turf course. I think he takes his field a long way. John Stevens got Altamura and M. Tyson Gilpin as well, but this horse lucky to draw in. Going to go ahead and run the 2-back try in Chinsky. That winner came back to run third, beaten for 40. That was a match runner up at Monmouth. I think the 14 is a user, but I'll go with the 4 Stamp. Comes out of a strong race at the fairgrounds. Yeah, 7th, beaten 5.5 lengths. But the 6th place finisher just finished just in front of him, came back to run 82 and 80 in his next 2 starts. Stamp goes first time for Proctor, will make a run from mid-pack.
All right, yeah, I overlooked the 4, but getting a little class relief today. Absolutely could wake up here in race 11. That's it. We're out of time.
Okay.
Big 11 race
Good
card.
card.
The Virginia Breds are here, but lots of fans already showing up. Some familiar faces from down there, Colonial Downs.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
to see them up here. Debbie Easter and company. Commonwealth Day, 4 stake races on the grass. The weather's perfect right now. Come on out here. Enjoy a nice day of racing. Dave Rodman's coming up next with scratches and changes. Good luck.
Good luck.